Today is National Signing Day, and I'm highlighting 3 young talents that are making their way to Eugene next year. They are Thomas Graham Jr., Rutger Reitmeyer, and Braxton Burmeister. Let's begin with Thomas Graham Jr. Graham is a number 6 cornerback and number 49 player in this year's recruiting class. Oregon's secondary needs all the help that it can get as they finished the season ranked 114th out of 128 teams in pass defense and only grabbed 9 interceptions on the year. The secondary also gave up the 6th most touchdown passes in the country. Next is defensive tackle Rutger Reitmeyer. Reitmeyer is a massive addition to the Oregon defensive line, literally. He stands at 6 feet 3 inches and 275 pounds, which will make it hard for any offensive lineman to block him. Oregon had one of the worst rushing defenses in the nation. They finished 121st in rushing yards allowed and dead last in rushing touchdowns allowed. Reitmeyer accumulated 24 tackles for loss in his senior year of high school. Last, but definitely not least, is quarterback Braxton Burmeister. He is a great addition to a quarterback group that is young and already full of talent. He is a dual-threat quarterback that put up ridiculous numbers during his senior year last year. He had 6,000 total yards and 80 total touchdowns last year alone. The signing of Burmeister means that the Oregon football team will have an interesting quarterback battle going into the spring. That's it for me this week for this week's Triple Threat. Back to you guys at the desk.
And now we bring in women's basketball analyst Jacob Loeffler. So Jacob, how far do you think the Ducks will go in the Pac-12 tournament?
Thank you, Carly. I think the Ducks will win their first round game against Arizona, but ultimately lose in the second round to Stanford. The Pac-12 is extremely top-heavy, with the top 4 teams being ranked top 15 nationally. This will make it hard for any team outside the top 4 to make a deep run in the Pac-12 tournament.
Who do you think will be the key player for the Ducks throughout the postseason?
It has to be Sabrina Ionescu. She is she's 2nd in assists per game in the Pac-12, 10th in rebounding, while adding 14 points per game. She also has 4 triple-doubles this season, and she's the first freshman in NCAA history to achieve that. She's also already broken the career record for Oregon triple-doubles, as well as 1 away from tying the Pac-12 record.
So what are the chances that the Ducks will make the NCAA tournament?
I think the Ducks have a great chance to make in the tournament. The record doesn't look too good, but they've had a very tough schedule, playing 11 teams in the top 25 and 5 in the top 10. So they've done enough to make the tournament.
Okay, so you think they'll make the tournament. How far do you think they will advance?
It just depends what their seed is. If they drop down to a 10 or 11 seed, I think they'll definitely lose in the first round. However, if they get to an 8 and 9 seed, they'll have a better chance of winning, but they won't win the second round game because it'll be against a 1 seed.
All right, Jacob Loeffler, everyone. Thanks, Jacob.
Thank you. Today was the University of Oregon Football Pro Day. Former Ducks showcased their talents in front of NFL scouts in the hope of being chosen in this April's NFL Draft. The Pro Day comes a couple weeks after the NFL Combine. Tight end Pharaoh Brown was the only Oregon invite to the Combine, so the Pro Day is extremely important for players like safety Reggie Daniels and quarterback Dakota Prukop to show scouts what they can do. Dakota Prukop had a solid Pro Day. He showed his athleticism with a great 10-foot 1-inch broad jump. He was also accurate in the passing drills, hitting receivers in stride and only overthrowing 2 passes. Prukop was excited with the opportunity to participate in the Pro Day.
It really is just a big milestone, something I've been dreaming of since I was a kid, Pro Day, working out in front of all the NFL teams and at a major university. And so it was just a real experience to be able to do this.
The brightest spotlight of the day was on tight end Pharaoh Brown. Brown is the Ducks' best chance of being chosen in the NFL Draft. After suffering a horrific leg injury in 2014, he came back and earned first-team All-Conference honors in 2015 and 2016. He looked strong today in the passing drills, catching everything that came his way. These draft hopefuls now have to wait and see if their Pro Day was enough to earn a spot on the NFL roster. The NFL Draft is April 27th to the 29th. With Duck TV Sports, from the Mashofsky Center, I'm Jacob Loeffler. The number 1 ranked Oregon State Beavers completed the series sweep against the Oregon Ducks here at PK Park by a score of 1-0. Tonight marked the first time that the Beavers have swept the Ducks at PK since Oregon reinstated their program in 2009. Both defenses were stellar tonight, but the X factor was Oregon State junior pitcher Jake Thompson. Thompson came into the game with a perfect 10-0 record and an insane 1.2 ERA. He kept his perfect season alive with an absolute gem. Thompson allowed 0 runs and only 3 hits in 6.2 innings pitched. He also threw in 5 strikeouts. The Ducks did not make it easy for the Beavers, however, playing great defense throughout the game. Starting pitcher Matt Mercer allowed 8 hits, but the Ducks infield turned a couple of important double plays to keep the score low. Without them, it could have been a blowout. The Ducks will try to avoid their 7th straight loss on Wednesday against the Loyola Marymount Lions at 6 p.m. here at PK Park. With Duck TV Sports, from PK Park, I'm Jacob Loeffler. The Oregon Ducks softball team continued their undefeated start to the season as they defeated the Pacific Tigers 8-0 here at Jane Sanders Stadium. The game started with an almost 2-hour rain delay, but that did not stop Ducks pitcher Miranda Ellis from dominating the game. She finished with a 1-hit shutout while striking out 9 of the 15 batters she faced. She also added a 2 RBI double in the 5th inning that ignited a 3-run inning to end the game with a mercy. Oregon coach Mike White was extremely pleased with Ellis' performance.
Now, Miranda's done a great job. I mean, her ball was really breaking well. She's hitting the locations. Seems to be getting stronger and stronger as we go along.
The Ducks are the last remaining undefeated team in the nation, and they look to keep the ball rolling against Hofstra tomorrow at 10 a.m. here at Jane Sanders Stadium. With Duck TV Sports, from Jane Sanders Stadium, I'm Jacob Loeffler.